Hi, this is Bill for SparkyChannel.com. Today I'd like to introduce you to the DEWALT 60V Max FLEXVOLT grinder. This grinder is powered by the DEWALT 60V Max battery, and it can achieve up to 9,000 RPMs and the equivalent of 13 amps of power. The grinder has a braking system that will stop the blade within 1.5 seconds of releasing the trigger, and it has a kickback brake that will stop the motor in the event of a pinch, stall, or bind up. This grinder can use various discs and accessories to cut, grind metal, be used with a wire cup accessory, and it can sand in a number of different ways. Here I'll show you how to install some of these accessories. To install a grinding blade onto the grinder, use the non-threaded backing flange. You put it right on like that. And this is a 5/8 inch spindle. And this is got a 5/8 inch hole, but it's got a raised area that will convert it to a 7/8 inch. So you put this on here like that, and you put your grinding disc that has a 7/8 inch hole in it, and you put it right on there like that, and it just flips it on there real nicely. And then you put on the lock nut, and the lock nut has two little protrusions that correspond with these cutouts on the spindle. So you put it in just like that, tighten it down, and then you depress the spindle lock button, which is right here. Just depress that. As you turn it, it'll go down, and then tighten this basically hand tight. You don't want to over tighten it. It tightens while you're using the tool. You might want to snug it up a little bit. But so there is a grinding wheel. The grinding surface is right here, and you only use this for grinding. This is not for cutting. So you depress this and take off the lock nut, take off the grinding wheel, and this is a combination grinding and cutting wheel. You see, this is a 1/4 inch stick. This combination is an 1/8 inch stick. It will do either cutting or grinding. So you put it there onto the backup washer, and you put your lock nut on there, tighten it down. Okay, I'm going to take this off and to show you how to put on a cutting wheel. This is a lot thinner. This is still a 7/8 inch by 4.5. It's very thin. It is strictly for cutting. You put it right there onto the backing washer, and then you put the lock nut on there, tighten it down, and you're ready to use a cutting disc. Okay, so you press down the spindle lock button, take off the locking washer, take that off. Okay, now this is a sanding flap disc. It's a very, very handy disc. You see, it's got a 5/8 inch thread, so you don't need to use this backup washer. Don't need to use that. We'll just put it straight on to the 5/8 inch spindle, and it right down like that. I've got my finger on the spindle lock button, and you just take it like that and you just tighten it down by hand, and there you go. You're ready with your sanding flap disc. And these come in many different grits. This happens to be a 36 grit, and it happens to be for metal. Now we have a twist wire wheel, and this is another one for taking off paint and rust. And boy, this will really take it off fast. Don't use it on wood, it'll just gouge your wood. But it's got a 5/8 inch thread, and you just spin it on. Now let's put on a 6 inch cutoff blade. So we're going to need to change the guard. To change the guard, just spin it. See, there's a larger area up here. You spin this all the way. There's some corresponding tabs, metal tabs there, and see, they all line up and it comes right off. So put your 6 inch guard on like this. Press it down. See, that's an important point. You got to press it down, turn it to where you want it. Now we're going to put on the unthreaded backing flange like that. Spin it, make sure it clicks down, and here's our 6 inch cutting blade. So you put that right on the backing flange, and then you put your lock nut right on here. Spin it down, press the spindle lock button, tighten it up by hand. Okay, to take it off, it's just the reverse. just like that. This is a 6-inch cup brush. So you just spin that on just like you did the 4-inch cup brush. This is a grinder/sander conversion kit. And what you do, you just put it right on your grinder spindle like that. Then put your sandpaper disc, just like that. And then you put the threaded flange that comes with this unit. You put it on right here. Tighten it down. Okay, now you want to press the spindle lock. You grab the whole thing and just tighten it down by hand. Okay. For guard adjustment, the guard release lever engages one of the alignment holes on the guard collar using a ratcheting feature. You can rotate the head on this grinder by taking out these 4 screws, and do not take the head off. Just after you take the screws off, you just simply rotate it 90 degrees to the right or 90 degrees to the left, and then put the 4 screws back in. This grinder can make 126 cuts in 1/2-inch rebar per charge when using a 60V max 6 amp hour battery and a 6-inch cutting disc. When using the grinder, it's important to wear gloves and eye protection, respiratory protection, hearing protection, and long sleeves. Here I am using the 4.5-inch by 1/4 inch wide grinding disc to grind some 1/4 inch angle iron, and notice that the grinder has plenty of power. It doesn't stall, it works great, it's very effective, and it's not too heavy or bulky. Here I am using the 6-inch cutting disc to cut 1/4 inch angle iron. And notice the tool has plenty of power, there's no stalls, and it cut right through that 1/4 inch angle iron. This is a 4-inch cable twist wire wheel, which is commonly used for deburring, edge blending, and rust removal. This is a 4-inch cup brush. It's used for power brushing, rust removal, and surface preparation. And now for sanding, I'll use a 4.5-inch 36 grit flat disc. And then I'll use a grinder sander conversion kit with 50 grit sandpaper on it. During all of my testing with all of these accessories, the tool never had a lack of power and never once stalled on me. In conclusion, I would say that DEWALT hit a home run with this one. It has plenty of power, accepts lots of accessories in various sizes, and isn't too heavy or bulky. I'll put a link in my video description for the DEWALT 2-battery FLEXVOLT grinder kit, which includes the grinder, 2 60V max FLEXVOLT batteries, a fast charger, 4.5-inch and 6-inch guards, an Allen wrench, a side handle, and a contractor bag. I'll put a link for the DEWALT FLEXVOLT grinder as a bare tool. Also, I'll put links for all the accessories that were shown in the video, including the DEWALT 4.5-inch by 1/4 inch grinding disc, the DEWALT 4.5-inch tile cutting blade, the DEWALT sanding flap disc, and the DEWALT 6-inch cutting blade. Thanks! I hope this video was helpful.